What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Con Air, directed by Simon West, starring Nicolas Cage. Okay, let's waste no time. Let's talk about it. I love Con Air. I think Con Air is a great 90s action movie. This is one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies. Now, I don't hold Con Air in regard as let's say, a face-off, but I do like this movie, and I do think it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's corny, it's cheesy, it's goofy, it's got a good fun cast, it's got a lot of really funny dialogue, it's got some memorable moments, it's got over the top characters with over the top action sequences. But you can tell that the people who made this movie, they were having a hell of a lot of fun making Con Air. And Con Air, you can see that fun come right off the screen. Oh, no, so let's just talk about it. The cast of Con Air, first off, is fantastic. Nicolas Cage as Cameron Poe, I think, puts on a really good performance. I like him as Cameron Poe, and I like how Nicolas Cage makes Cameron Poe into an overall very likable guy. And I think the story with Cameron Poe is actually good for what it is. Cameron Poe, he is a former Army Ranger who is sent to jail after he and his wife are being hassled and attacked by a bunch of guys at a bar, and Nick Cage, in self-defense, kills a man. But because of his army training, he gets sent to prison for an extended period of time. While in prison, his wife gives birth to their little daughter. And I like how this movie pretty much set up a relationship between a man and their child, and they don't share any screen time until the last 2 minutes. But you believe that Cameron Poe loves his family, and you believe that he wants to get to his family as as hard as he can. And even though he will put himself at risk to save the lives of others, you can still tell that his motivation to get home is still prevalent. And all throughout the movie, I thought Nicolas Cage handled the performance really, really well. I think his southern accent can be a little hokey in a lot of areas, and there are a lot of dialogue where it comes across as just utterly hilarious. I mean, there's one guy where he's telling, but there's one moment in the movie where he's telling the guy, "Put the bunny down." I mean, there's like this entire sequence where they're fighting over a bunny. It's goofy, over the top, but it's hilarious. But the bunny has meaning because it's a present for his daughter. So at least there's a reason behind it, though it isn't unintentionally hilarious. So yeah, Nicolas Cage is Cameron Poe. No negative thoughts. Malekith Williams plays this character of Baby O, who is a guy that Poe befriends in a prison. I like the chemistry between Williams and Cage. They come across as being genuine friends, and I like the fact that because of Poe is an Army Ranger, he does not leave a fallen man behind. The character Baby O is diabetic, and there's a good chunk of the movie where he's pretty much close to his deathbed, and if he doesn't get his insulin shot, he's pretty much going to go into shock and die. And Poe, not wanting to leave his friend behind, chooses to pretty much save his friend. And I like that. It shows that Poe is an honorable man, and he's willing to put others before himself. He's kind of a Superman. Okay, that was pretty corny, but whatever. But yeah, all seriousness, I think Cage and Williamson, they have really good chemistry on screen, and I buy them as being best friends. Uh, the rest of the supporting cast in this movie is good. John Cusack plays the character of Vince Larkin, who is the U.S. Marshal, and it's actually Larkin who is in charge of the flight that's being hijacked by the prisoners. And I like John Cusack in this role. I like how Cusack and Poe form an alliance to try and take down Cyrus the Virus, played by John Malkovich. And I also kind of sort of like the rivalry he has with a DEA agent played by Colin Meaney. Like, yeah, like the man's last name says it all. The DEA agent in this movie is a complete asshole, and a lot of funny scenes are between him and Larkin. Though I think the payoff that those two have is kind of underwhelming, mainly because once it gets to the end of the movie, they stop being rivals with one another, and all of a sudden they act like best friends. It's weird. I don't think the payoff between Larkin and the Colin Meaney character had a decent payoff in my opinion. But they do come across, but they do bicker like a married couple, and their bantering one another is pretty funny with Larkin not backing down from this guy and really telling him how he feels. So yeah, I think John Cusack is really good in this role. This movie also has actors like Ving Rhames, MC Gainey, who play the characters of Diamond Dog and Swamp Thing respectively. I think they fit the roles well. The character of Billy Bedlam is a lot of fun. He and Poe have an entertaining yet brief fight scene. Uh, Steve Buscemi plays a character called Garland Green, who was presented in a as a Hannibal Lecter type of character, and I thought Buscemi put on a very chilling performance as Garland Green. I mean, his standout scene is where he's having tea with this little girl after they're at this airfield, and it's just so creepy and so chilling, especially when they both start to sing. He's got the whole world in his hands, and you really think that Garland Green's going to kill this little girl, but thankfully he doesn't. So big props for Steve Buscemi for making a minor role really memorable and giving it a Hannibal Lecter type of feel to it. Because when you watch Buscemi in this movie, his character has a Hannibal Lecter type feel, and it is really chilling. And it's actually one of the more horrifying parts of the movie, in a way. But other than that, this movie is just pure bombast. All right, now we get to my favorite part of this movie, which is John Malkovich as Cyrus the Virus. I love John Malkovich as the villain in this movie. He is 100% having the time of his life, just hamming it up as the villain. His comebacks are hilarious and witty. The bantering he has with a lot of the prisoners and a lot of the guards is utter hysterical. There's this one moment where he's bantering with one guard saying "stewardess," saying what the in-fight movie is, and they have like a nice little back and forth. And just like Malkovich gives Cyrus the Virus this charisma that is unmatched by anyone else in this movie. To me, Malkovich is the unsung hero of this movie. He makes his villain character work. From a production standpoint, this is a well done, well made looking movie. I thought Simon West did a good job directing this film. You know, the practical effects look fantastic. The use of some CGI is well done for what it is. But this movie is more practical than any CGI, and I appreciate that. The action sequences are very over the top, yet a hell of a lot of fun. If I do have any gripes with this movie, I think its female characters are underutilized. The character of Monica Porter, who plays Cameron Poe's wife, she doesn't really have a whole lot to do, and she has a handful of scenes that really don't. And she just has a handful of scenes where she looks concerned, though I think Cage and Porter have decent on-screen chemistry, where I can buy the fact that this man wants to get to this woman so badly. And then this other character played by Rachel Titon, known as Guard Bishop, who I thought was completely underutilized. And the movie was building up this rivalry between Bishop and this character called Johnny 23, played by Danny Trejo. Now, and Johnny 23 is a rapist, and he has his eyes set on sexually violating Guard Bishop, which he nearly does until Poe saves the day. I would not have had Poe save the day. Since the movie was building up friction between Johnny and Bishop, I would have had Bishop kill Johnny 23 instead of Poe having a hand in it. Like, if anything, I would have had keep Poe attacking Johnny 23 and then have him unhook Bishop, and then just have Bishop and Johnny go at it in a fight where Bishop kills him straight on. I think, to me, that would be much more satisfying, and it would have given Bishop more to do instead of what she does. Because for the bulk of the movie, she's just handcuffed to something and she doesn't do anything, which is a shame because I like Rachel Titon as an actress. I thought she was cool in Total Recall. And in this movie, I think it kind of underutilized her a little bit, which I'm not really a fan of. I would have liked to have seen her do more. But other than that, I think this movie is a hell of a lot of fun. I highly recommend Con Air. If you have not seen this movie, give it a watch. It is so good. It gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Con Air, one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Con Air. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like this video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.